guys, so welcome to Between the Lines with your host, the bold and beautiful Daphney Maciira, and I am here in our fireplace studios today in Kitale. But before we get down to business, because today I have a monologue script, I am just going to ask you to do what you do every day. Go to our social media handles at the Fireplace Studios, follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can like our videos, share our stories, and I hope you learn from each and every story. I'm Daphney Maciira and I am 24 years old. And my story is about my journey being a mother, actually being a single mother of one. I have a very handsome prince somewhere. He is 5 years, headed towards 6. And my journey hasn't been all roses and it hasn't been a bed of flowers. I've had my ups, I've had my downs, I've had my struggles, I've had my pain, I've had everything. But at the end of it all, this is a journey that I have experienced and I have enjoyed the five years that I've been in this journey, and I hope that I will enjoy forever because this is something so close to my heart. So I got pregnant when I was 18 years old. I was just out of high school. I had done my KCSE exams and I came back home. I had a high school sweetheart as always. I was so in love at that time. We had been together for almost 2 years, and it just went down. I got pregnant. So after I got pregnant and I realized I was pregnant, I was scared. And funny bit is that my sweetheart and I at that particular time, we had issues. Now we were both from high school and we broke up before I realized I was pregnant. So I knew then I was in this alone, and I was trying to console myself by telling myself, maybe I'll tell him and he'll come back. Maybe I'll tell him and we can start all over. Because I was having this idea of a fantasy of just bringing up a family direct from high school. Now the bitter part was introducing this pregnancy to my parents. That was the most scary part of my journey because I knew my mother is a teacher and she's a disciplinarian. My dad is also a disciplinarian, and these are things ulikuwa unaambiwa when you're growing up. Kipata mimba, mali nipatia hapo hapo, then you go where you actually got pregnant from. And I knew, one, I was either going to get beaten, to get a beating that was going to be so terrific, and I was going to be chased out of home. Those were my last options. Those were the things that I believed would happen to me. And I got so stressed. I was 3 weeks pregnant. I don't have a boyfriend. I'm still in my mother's house. My KCSE results came out. I had failed, so that's also another disappointment. And I decided, why not? I wanted to terminate this pregnancy, and it was. I planned for it. I wanted to. Deep down, I wanted to keep it, but circumstances were I can't keep it because my parents are harsh. I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have friends and families. The boyfriend that was supposed to be the father of this kid is not around. And I remember walking to Mary stops in Nakuru, and I sat down for almost like 3 hours waiting for my heart to just sync with my mind and decide we are doing this. But I couldn't. I was so overwhelmed with emotions. I had already connected with my baby, and I decided I am keeping it. Do or die. At the end of it all, we're going to die, so do or die. It's either it comes right now or it comes later. So I decided I'm keeping it. And I never told anyone I was pregnant. I'm plus size, so it didn't really come out, and no one knew I was pregnant at that particular time. I was just adding weight, I was glowing, I was looking good. The pregnancy was good, no morning sickness, no illness, I was just perfect. And I remember 4 months down the line, I had never gone for antenatal clinic because I was still scared. I was asking myself, I might go, and that's who knows my mom, I tell my mom, and I don't even know what they do at antenatal. I don't know how we start doing it. So I decided I'm not going for any antenatal care. I decided, anyway, I'll just be pregnant until it comes out, so let it just grow. And I remember after a while, I decided, I hadn't told the father of the baby, so I decided why not just maybe scare myself and take that step. And I remember I called him and asked him, hey, where are you? And we need to talk. And we met. I told him I'm expectant. And the funny bit is he laughed and he said, oh, congratulations. But I don't think it's mine. And, for a moment I froze, but also for another moment I was excited because I knew I'm making choices for my baby from that particular moment. I am not consulting anyone for my kid. I'm just doing it for myself. And I remember walking out, being frustrated at first. It was something so frustrating. I didn't know what to do, but somehow being optimistic always kept me knowing that at the end of that tunnel there was going to be light. And I always knew my baby was going to be light. So I just kept on with the journey. I remember I have stayed home. I'm almost 6 months pregnant. Nobody knows that I'm pregnant. And I keep asking myself, if I get labor right now, nobody will know. They'll all think I have a stomachache or something. I should tell my parents. And for me, I decided, instead of telling my mom, I would tell her friend's daughter, because I know her friend won't keep quiet. She would be a loudmouth. I'll just tell her daughter, and somehow the information would get to my mom. And I remember telling them, and my mom called me almost like 3 hours later screaming. She was literally screaming. She was in town and she was literally screaming, asking me how pregnant am I, how many months, when did I tell her, I want her to die. Just all the African moms, whatever they say as an African mom, you know what they say. You know, mimi kumuua and all that. And I remember I was scared of her coming home because I knew one way or another my father has already known, and my father is no nonsense. That man is just way. But still somehow I was still convinced they would do nothing since I'm 6 months pregnant. So I have a right to get pregnant. I'm 18 and they wouldn't beat me, they'll just chase me out. So I knew the beating was out, but the moving out was, I knew it would be any time from that particular time that my parents had known. My baby was still growing until I developed. I got to 6 months, almost 7 months, and I developed some complications on my cervix. So now my parents already know I'm pregnant. Then my father is not talking to me at that particular time. He's never talking to me. He's always just looking at me. I think he was wondering when I'll move out. So he wouldn't talk to me, but if I needed anything, they would still give it to me. That particular time was around 7 months. I got so much complications on my pregnancy and I was really sick for 3 days. So now this time, my mom had to take me to hospital, and I thought, okay, maybe it's just a one thing. They would take me to hospital and I'd feel better. But when I got there, my mom was actually advised that I should go for an emergency cesarean C-section surgery instantly. I wouldn't last more than 6 hours later if they were to wait. So we were there with my mom. I couldn't walk. I looked like I was raped when I was walking. I was walking like a penguin. I'm pregnant. I can't close my legs, and I'm feeling like something is coming out of my coochie, but I can't really see because I was bulging. And the funny bit is, I remember my mom asking me, "No, unalia nini?" And I'm expecting you to grow up right now because you're going to have a baby. And that was the scariest time for me because I was thinking, my baby is not at 9 months, so either my baby is dying or my baby is going to the nursery, or I'm the one who's going to die, because I had never, in my mind I've had people had babies before they were due, but not that early. So we go to a hospital, I am admitted, their therapy is done. I have a therapist who comes to talk to me because I was just crying. I wasn't allowing any nurse to touch me at that particular time. It's like I was running mad in a way. So they calmed me down, they came, they did some vital signs on me and my baby. They assured me the baby was going to be okay, and they put surgery for 4. And this time I'm thinking, okay, maybe they are planning to get the baby out and kill the baby, or maybe they are planning to get the baby out and kill me. I wasn't still sure what they were planning to do. I was not sure where I was sick because there was nothing being told to me. My mom was the one who was getting all the information. Mimi tu ni yule nilikuwa nangoja tu, naambiwa toka enda ile room, toa hizo nguo, vaa hizi, aya kapa, you get a catheter in, kapa, you get some lines in on you, you get normal saline, you get a lot of things. And at that particular time sikuwa na understand what was going on. But that was the day it was the 13th of July 2016, and that's the day I got my baby at around, I think from because I was in the theater, so I think it's just from the time I got in at 4 to whatever time I got out, because I got out and I knew I have a baby, and this baby is a boy. Because I remember my mom asking me, na tutamuita nani, because ni kijana, utamuita babako? And I remember, yeah, I said, yeah, I'll just call him my dad, because now that's the only male figure that's gonna be here for him. That is automatically what I'll call him. We'll be right back, guys, and I'll tell you more. Okay. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for those who are watching. Karibu sana for those who are joining in. This is Between the Lines on the Family Studios every Wednesday at 11 a.m. with me, your bold and beautiful host, Daphney Maciira. So as we are going down in the story, I am out of the theater, and I realized, oh, I'm a mom. Now I'm having a baby, and my mom is still there, my friends were there, my mom's friend was there, my dad wasn't there. But at this particular time, I'm telling myself, okay, I have a little human being who is so dependent on me. And I remember asking my mom, huyo mtoto umemshika akona kila kitu, because having a kid who is young, I'm scared. Because he's a boy, so I asked for his fingers, I asked for his eyes, his ears, his nose, his tongue, his everything, his little toes. I asked my mom, is he complete? Because at that particular time I had not still seen him. And I remember my mom was like, yeah, he's healthy. He was 3.01 kgs at that month. And I was like, wow, alikuwa mkubwa. Then my friend, just from nowhere, she's like, Daph, I'm telling you, I've looked at this kid and umeza tu baba yake. And at that particular time, now everything comes back, and I'm like, oh, I had a man who is supposed to be the father of this kid. And I was telling God all this other time, for the 6 months, 7 months I was pregnant, I was telling God, I do not want a kid that looks like the father. I want a kid that looks like me. But somehow, in his own ways, he actually just made an epitome of his dad. And this particular time, I'm so crushed. I tell my mom I want to sleep and never wake up, because I feel like somehow God has paid what we had agreed. But at the same time, I'm still so excited to be this new baby. And instantly, my baby cries. Then there's all that procedure of breastfeeding and everything, and it feels so good. So good. I can tell you, I would never trade anything for those moments that I had. The first moments I held my kid, I was the happiest person in that room. And it was so nice. It was just so warm. Everything was just warm. I was not feeling anything but love. At that particular moment, I felt love. So 2 days later, my baby is sick. And there's this doctor who's trying to get a branular in his veins. I am so frustrated, because I am thinking this baby is actually too small, and then there is this guy who is just constantly pricking him to get some line into him so that they can give him antibiotics. And I'm asking myself, okay, was I to just give birth and lose him? Because I actually knew I was losing my kid at this particular moment, and there was nothing as frustrating as just knowing you are there, but there is nothing you can do but just look and breastfeed. I remember one time when the lines were not being found, I walked out, I stormed out of that ward, and I left the nurse with the kid, and I remember cursing and telling the nurse, you know what, if you want to kill my son, just do it, I'll come back and just pick him up. And I remember walking out and crying. There was so much crying at this particular time for almost a week, so much crying, because my emotions were just everywhere for my son. And now we have this period of a week. My son has been on antibiotics. He gets better. We go home. Still, I have never raised my own kid. I have raised my siblings. I have never breastfed them. I don't know when he wants to breastfeed. I don't know when he wants to sleep. I don't know when he wants to eat. I don't want to know when he wants to wake up. I don't know nothing. I'm just Googling my life or just raising something that I don't know how to do it. My mom, at that time, she was not around because I remember she had left to complete her master's in Nakuru, and I was left with my dad and the house help. So we were juggling. She was calling and asking me, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you changed the diaper? Have you done this? So she was like piloting. It's called helicopter parenting both me and her grandson. At this particular juncture, I was raising a kid in my father's house, and I don't have a boyfriend, I don't have a partner. But I remember 2 weeks later, the father of my kid called me and he was like, oh, congratulations, I heard you got a baby. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, who does he look like? I was like, he looks like the father. And apparently at that particular time, I think I had flirted with someone, so I had this ideology of maybe he would take me in with my kid, which he did, and I was so happy. So thank you very much for the journey we had. Through my pregnancy, I had a support system of just a random guy who fell in love with me on social media, and it happened for 2 years, and it was the best time. And I remember sending a picture of my son and that actual guy I had met on social media, which was contrast because my son was this and the guy was this. And the guy tells me, the father of my kid tells me, oh, so this is my kid because he looks like me. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing this with you. I have taken 7 months to rebuild myself knowing that I'm in this alone and I am not entertaining this with you. And I told myself, you denied me and my kid, and that's it. That's period. I'm not going to deny the fact that you are my kid's dad, but I'm not going to give you the priority of raising him as a father. He will know you as someone he has seen in his childhood, but not as a father. I do not want to destabilize my son by bringing you into his life, yet I'm bringing you and I'm not even sure you want to stay in his life. And okay, just to say that me and the father of my kid are in very good terms. We have never had dramas, we have never had issues, we have never thrown words at each other, we have never insulted each other. There is this kind of respect that we carry, knowing that we have birthed a kid together, and there is a respect that we have for each other. And I'm so grateful for that, and I am so proud of saying that as much as everything goes down, we still have one fact together. We had a kid together. So most of the time I have realized that whatever is not working for you is the fact that you still believe this father of your kid needs to come back to your life. You're not sure if he's coming back because he loves you or he's coming back because he wants you to raise that kid together. And that's where a lot of single mothers right now are having strains. Do not bring in a man into your kid's life if you're not sure what he wants in that life. Do not bring in a man into your life because you want him to raise your kid. Bring a man into your life, a man that loves you and your kid. That's it. Whether he's the father or he's not the father, the priority is he loves you and he loves the kid. That's it. Do not settle for anything less. And after a while, now I have been home, I have been breastfeeding, I have been raising this kid, I have been learning. The process has been tiresome, it has been stressful. We have clinic visits, the kid is constantly crying. Where? I'm telling you. And I decided, now I'm going to bounce back and just, build myself, because my friends from high school were now going to campus. But remember I told you I failed my KCC, so my dad, I think this is what that man just did to punish me. He took me back to high school. I went back to high school when my kid was 7 months. So my kid stopped breastfeeding immediately at 7 months. I remember it was on a Monday. I dropped him off at my grandmother's house, and Thursday I was leaving for school. I was going to Eldamaravine. I live in Kitale, my kid is in Kitale. I have never been away from my kid for a whole day, and I'm going to school and I'm frustrated. And to punish me more, my father did not take me to Form 4, he took me back to Form 3. And I went there, life was as it was. I was missing my kid constantly, but I kept telling myself, I have to do this because I have failed, and if I'm building a foundation for this child, if I want this kid to grow up and know that success comes at your own time, I am going to do it for him. And I remember I did my Form 4 later on in 2018. I did what I did, I got what I did, I was proud of what I got later on. And now this particular time, I have been away from my kid. You know, I kept telling myself, my kid won't remember me, but I thank God because this whole time I was in school, for the period of 2 years, my kid constantly remembered who I was. He has known from birth that I'm his mom. He has known my mom as mom, but he knows that I am his real mom. And that's the best part about it. I just bounced and I became something more. I was doing a lot of things, not for me. I was doing a lot of things because I wanted to be a role model in future. I want my kid to look at me and know I tried. I did what I did because I tried, and I did what I did because I wanted to be better. I wanted to make better choices for him. So bouncing back, it was a struggle because somehow I was still a very rebellious child. I was so rebellious. I remember that times I wanted to move out and just go start a life with my kid. You know, I had seen a lot of people do that, but I can tell you, those were the worst moments of my life. If I were to take something back, was the time I was rebellious with my parents, because these were the people that were giving me a support system, and they are the same people I was being rebellious to. And years later, I came to realize that they were not doing it for my good, but they were looking at something much better for me. They wanted something much better for me because they could achieve it with me if I was just constantly listening. So if you're out there and you feel like you have outgrown just because you have a kid, believe you me, just listen. There's people out here giving you advice. Listen, your parents want the best for you. You will see us with our kids out, we are going out, but believe you me, somehow being rebellious taught me that, you know, I thought I could do it without them, but I learned it the hard way. I needed them to do it, and 5 years for me has been the best because I accepted and told myself, okay, I'm still a child, I will listen, and the rest is history. I've been a mom, it has been the best journey. I am a nurse, I'm a nurse in training, and I have lived my dream. Part of my dream is still in process, but whatever I have achieved for the 5 years has been something I couldn't achieve if I did not listen. So if you're out there and you're a young mom, you're a single mom, it's not gonna be easy. This is not a bed of roses. You have disappointed your family, yes, but learn from that. You have disappointed them once. They say kuteguka, si kuanguka, but even if you fall down, get up. Just stand up, dust yourself, you know, shake off the dust and step on it. Yes, you have messed up, but the solution is not getting an abortion. The solution is not being rebellious. The solution is not getting married. The solution is now, from where you have messed up, how are you going to fix your life? Do not just waste away your life, waste away your potential because you have gotten a baby. A baby might be the biggest blessing in disguise. Before you realize your baby is a blessing, you're first going to feel the pinch because it's not easy. You will need a lot of things. A lot of people are passing through depression, postpartum depression. It is a process. We learn. Hakuna mtu alizaa mtoto na manual. None of us were in the hospital and we were told, yo, this is the manual, this is how you raise your kid. No, we're all making decisions and we're all making choices. What we think is best and what we think is applicable at that particular moment. So if you're out there, I will tell you, just calm down, calm your horses. Do not think about getting married. Do not rush into relationship. Do not frustrate yourself with men. Men are out here. Men are out here. You might even end up getting married by someone who is not the father of your kid. But the best thing about it is focus on growing yourself for your kid. You cannot give if you do not have. Make sure you have enough to give. You have enough love to give. And until then, I will keep sharing so much of my stories because they are piled up. Always remember, this is the Fabulous Show. This is the show called Between the Lines, and we share stories, we share realities. we share expectations, we share our failures. None of us have made it here without failing. We have fallen down several times. It's just a matter of how you bounce back, how you stand up, and how you choose to move on, okay? Till then, keep it on Between the Lines at the Fireplace Studios on Facebook, on Instagram, and you can follow me personally on Instagram at Daphney__KE, on Facebook at Daphney or at Maciira, and just let us hear your stories, let us hear your opinions. And until then, I hope motherhood has been the best for you, and trust me, it has been the best for me. Ciao.